All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to get our heads around one of SAP's most powerful, but sometimes misunderstood tools, the controlling area. It might sound a little technical, but trust me, understanding this is a real game changer for turning basic financial data into powerful business strategy. So, picture this. Your company's monthly financial report comes out, and it shows a line item, rent expense, $30,000. Okay, great. The number is accurate. But is it useful? I mean, where did that money actually go? Was it for the factory, the corporate headquarters, a storage facility? The thing is, your standard P&L statement just can't answer that question. And you know what? That creates a massive blind spot for anyone trying to actually manage the business. Now, don't get me wrong, those financial statements are absolutely crucial for things like paying taxes and reporting to investors. But here's the catch. They often don't have the kind of detail you need to make smart day-to-day decisions. And that right there is the fundamental problem we're talking about. Financial reports are great at telling you what you spent. But for a manager, the real questions are where did we spend it and why? And this exact information gap is what SAP's whole structure is brilliantly designed to fill. So what's SAP's big idea here? Well, it cleverly splits your financial data into two separate but totally connected worlds. You can think of them as two different lenses for looking at the very same information. You've got financial accounting, which we call FI, and then you have controlling, which is known as CO. Okay, so this chart really lays it all out. On one hand, you have financial accounting, or FI. This is all about looking outward. It's what you show to the world. Investors, the government, the bank. It's legally required, and it basically answers the question, what happened? But then you have controlling, or CO. This is completely internal. It's for the management team's eyes only, and it's all about digging deeper to answer that much more important question. Okay, but why did it happen? So, what's the engine that powers this whole internal world of management accounting? Well, it all comes down to one core piece of the SAP puzzle, the controlling area. To put it really simply, the controlling area is the organizational home base for everything you do in CO. Think of it like a giant bucket. It's the master container that holds and organizes all of the cost and revenue information that managers need to actually steer the ship and make good decisions. And here's where it gets really clever and flexible. A single controlling area can be connected to just one company code, or it can be linked to several. What does that mean? It means you can pull in financial data from different legal entities all into one central place for a unified management view. It's incredibly powerful. Okay, that's the theory. But how does this actually work in the real world? Let's follow that $30,000 rent expense and watch how SAP's structure transforms it from just a number into a genuine business insight. So, from the financial accounting, or FI, side of things, the journey begins right here. A bookkeeper posts a totally standard journal entry. Debit rent expense for 30 grand, credit cash for 30 grand. It's clean, simple, and perfect for the official financial statements. But that's just half the story. This is the magic moment. Right when that FI transaction is being entered, the system prompts the user for one extra piece of information, a controlling object. In our case, it's something called a cost center. This one simple act is the handshake that sends a copy of that financial data over to the world of controlling. So, what on earth is a cost center? It's really just a bucket, a way to collect costs that belong to a specific area of your business. It could be a physical place, like the manufacturing unit. It could be a department, like the corporate office. Or it could be a function, like the storage plant. It's simply how you define the where for your spend. And boom, look at the result. That single $30,000 transaction is now beautifully broken down. Management can see with absolute clarity that $15,000 of that rent went to support manufacturing, $10,000 was for the corporate office, and the last $5,000 was for the storage plant. Suddenly, that managerial blind spot is completely gone. Now, this is super powerful, right? So you might be wondering, how do you actually build this structure inside SAP? Let's take a quick peek behind the curtain at the key steps for setting up a controlling area. At a high level, it's a pretty logical flow when you think about it. First, you have to create the controlling area itself, that main container. Then, you assign your company codes to it, you build that bridge for the data to flow. Next, you set up a standard hierarchy to organize all your cost centers neatly. And finally, you have to activate the specific tools or components that you actually plan on using. Now, this link right here is absolutely critical. In the systems configuration, you have to explicitly tell SAP, hey, I want this company code to talk to this controlling area. This assignment is the official handshake that connects the external financial world with the internal controlling world. It's what allows all that data to start flowing. You know, the controlling area is like a toolbox, but you have to actually take the tools out and turn them on to use them. For example, if you want to track costs by department, you have to go in and specifically flip the switch for cost center accounting. This is how you enable the very functionality we've been talking about this whole time. Okay, so once the setup is complete, we get to the fun part, seeing the real payoff. Let's see how this structure takes us beyond just looking at one transaction and gives us a truly consolidated view for making smarter decisions. Let's keep going with our example. Another bill comes in. This time, it's $2,000 for electricity. Well, when the FI transaction is posted, that cost also gets assigned to the manufacturing unit cost center. It's going into the very same bucket that took on half of the rent expense. And this is the whole point. Now, with just a click, a manager can see the true total cost of running that manufacturing unit. The system automatically adds the $15,000 in rent and the $2,000 in electricity together, giving one clear number, $17,000. This isn't just data anymore. It's actual business intelligence. You know, there's a quote from our source material that just nails this whole idea perfectly. It says, the controlling transactions are derived from the FI transaction. And that's the key takeaway. You're not doing double the work. These powerful management insights are born directly and automatically from the everyday financial postings you're already doing. It's one entry, two incredibly powerful views. And that really leaves us with one final question to think about. This isn't just about accounting rules or software settings, it's about clarity. If you had this kind of crystal clear view into exactly where every single dollar in your organization was going, what's the very first thing you would change? Thanks for digging into this with me.